Have you ever felt that the world is against you? Like Murphy's Law is a constant in your life? Anything and everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong at the worst possible moment? Do you need a little extra good luck in your life? Do you need to turn things around? Well, I do have some experience with this because at one point in my life, for a very large number of years, a lot of years, I felt the exact same way. I felt that everything that could possibly go wrong in my life was, in fact, going wrong. Now, I'm going to share a story with you, and it may or may not apply to you. Hopefully, it gives you some information that can help you turn things around. In my case, I got into this pattern where every time something went wrong, I got frustrated. And the more things went wrong, the more frustrated I got, to the point where it only took a split second to go from a calm, easy demeanor into a full rage because everything was just going wrong. It's like, how can this possibly do? How can this person possibly do that? Why in the world is that happening? Who hates me? I was a champion angry person. In fact, if there was an Olympics for anger, I was probably a contender for that gold medal. Anger was a constant fact of my life because so much was going wrong and I just felt so angry about it. Eventually, I did learn that our thoughts control our reality. And the first introduction to that idea, I did notice some influence that if I focused my mind on positive things, there were some positive things that happened. But at that point, I was not very good at maintaining a positive focus. And so it really didn't take long for me to find something to be angry at. In fact, at one point, I realized that if I was going to conquer this anger, if I was truly going to turn things around in my life, I had to get control of my own emotions. And if what happens inside of us truly becomes a reflection in the world around us, I knew that I didn't want to see a world where that anger was coming back at me over and over and over again. And so I made a firm decision that I was going to turn things around and I was going to take control of my own emotions. And so I started this process. And at one particular point, I had a lot of time on my hands. So I was able to just sit down and focus my mind on a more positive emotion. I focused my mind on the idea of love. It's like, okay, that's the most positive thing I can imagine. So I'm going to focus my mind on love and I'm going to find a way to become a loving person. And so I would sit down, I would start thinking about love, I would start thinking about how nice love felt. And because I was so much in the habit of anger, it only took about a minute for a stray thought to cross my mind that instantly took me off in that direction. So I'd be sitting and thinking about love, and then all of a sudden, it's like I was so angry about something that had happened the week before. And then after 10, 20 minutes of being in that angry space, I realized what had happened. And it's like, okay, I messed up. Let me try this again. So I'd sit down and I'd try to focus on love and I would do that over and over and over again. The cycle would just repeat over and over and over again. I would sit, I would think about love, I'd have some stray thought cross my mind, I'd get angry again, I'd realize what happened, then I'd sit down again. Eventually, it took a couple of days, but eventually I started to get more in control of my own emotions. I started to get control of my own thoughts. And I started to find myself staying in that feeling of love, that emotion of love, that thought stream of loving thoughts for longer and longer periods of time. After about 2 weeks of doing this for, I don't know, a couple hours a day, 2 or 3 hours a day, after a couple weeks, I noticed that things in my life, things that would have gone wrong, things that would have gone a direction that would actually hurt me in some way, were actually going a much better direction. Things were coming to me to help me. People were coming into my life who were kind and generous and truly did help me in a lot of ways. And even though I only spent a couple of weeks truly consciously focusing on shifting my emotions from anger to love, the result of that was at least a couple of months of amazing good luck. It truly was awe-inspiring just how much was going right in my life during that period. And then things started to taper off again. Things started to become more normal. And I realized that, okay, maybe I'm not holding on to that positive emotion as much as I was. So I need to do that again. So I started a process that a lot of people do. People call it meditating. I called it sitting in love. And so every evening, I would sit for at least 15 to 20 minutes and just focus on love, focus on those positive emotions, and imagine a better world around me. Imagine a better life that I was living. And this really did help me learn how to master the process of manifesting, because I needed that foundation that things are going to go in a good way for me. Things are going to go right for me. Things are going to succeed. Once I had that foundation, it became so much easier to manifest the things I wanted in life. And truly, it has grown into a condition where I do feel lucky. I feel blessed. I feel like the world is on my side. And everything that could possibly go right does go right at the best possible moment. Murphy's Law completely reversed. It takes time, it takes effort, but when you understand that the world around you and the events in that world around you are a reflection of what's inside of you, and you decide to take control of your own mind and emotions and realign yourself with positive thoughts, energies, and emotions, you can take control of the world around you by taking control of the world inside of you. So, like I said, this may or may not apply to your specific situation. I hope that it does. I hope that you have been benefited by this. Until next time, be blessed, my friend.